first impressions of the BenQ Mobiuz EX2510S. Before we jump in, let's quickly take a look at the highlight features on this monitor. You've got a 24.5-inch Full HD 165Hz refresh rate IPS panel with a 99% sRGB color gamut. You've got HDRi and true sound audio by treVolo, and lastly, you've got 1 millisecond MPRT and AMD FreeSync Premium for smooth gameplay. Now let's move on to what we're really here for. The unboxing. If it wasn't clear from the highlight features already, this is a gamer-focused monitor from BenQ. It's also an upgraded version of the previous EX2510, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So on the box, you've got the major features right up on there, like the 165Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond latency, TÜV Rheinland certification, and all that good stuff. Getting into the box, you've got the 3-pin power cable because the power supply is built into the monitor. You get the HDMI cable as well as the instruction manuals and the quick starter guide for your reference. Now onto the good stuff. This is the Mobiuz EX2510S. You've got the Mobiuz branding on the back, along with the stand mount and the I/O ports. We've got the S marking on the left side and the HDRi with a dedicated HDR button on the right up front. The power button, input, and navigation buttons are all located at the back right. Onto the stand. The stand is built really solid. Same as the base of the stand. It's very sturdy with a nice orangish accent line running up front and pretty good grips at the bottom, so it won't be moving anywhere. So let's set it up and talk about the design. The setup is pretty simple. Screw the stand to the base and then snap your monitor into place until you hear a click. Very satisfying. Now, like I said, this is the 25-inch monitor. To me, this is the actual perfect size for FPS kind of gaming, which is what I'm really used to. So for games like Apex, Call of Duty, the ones that are best for me. But there's also a 27-inch variant of the same model with the same exact features. The overall design of the monitor is quite pleasing, actually. Doesn't occupy too much space on my table, keeps things clean and simple. Again, it's not a very broad and bulky looking monitor. The cables can also easily be fed through the little gap on the stand in order to have better organization and keeping your cable management clean. Something I know absolutely nothing about. As far as I/O ports and buttons go, you've got 2 HDMI 2.0s and 1 DisplayPort 1.2. There's also the power input as well as the 3.5mm audio jack. At the back of the monitor, you've got the power button, the input source button, as well as the little movable toggle to navigate through your different menus and select different options. Up front, underneath the HDRi logo, you get a dedicated HDR button to toggle through the different modes of HDR. Now looking at the movability, the swivel, the tilt, the stand allows a swivel left and right up to 20 degrees. You get a tilt from 5 degrees all the way to 20 degrees. So honestly, a pretty good range of motion up and down. However, it cannot be oriented vertically. Up front, underneath the BenQ logo, you've got the ambient light sensor for BenQ's very own Brightness Intelligence Plus feature, which basically adjusts the temperature based on your ambient light. This is great for some people. I personally like customizing the look of my monitor and just leaving it at that. Now let's move on to pretty much the most important factor on this, which is the display. Like I said, this is a 24.5-inch Full HD IPS display. It's an LED backlight panel with 1080p resolution and 165Hz of refresh rate. The peak brightness on this is 400 nits, as well as being able to support HDR 400. Now, HDR 400 is actually really great for gaming, but don't expect to watch cinema level HDR content on this. As mentioned earlier, you also get a 99% sRGB support. So buyers who want a more wide color gamut with more saturation and vibrance will be missing out with this one. However, sRGB only panels tend to be more color accurate and properly calibrated right out of the box. So for most internet content, including gaming, the color accuracy and calibration will be pretty darn good on this. As an IPS panel, viewing angles as expected are pretty good. Now, from my initial experience just using this for gaming, I had a really pleasant experience playing at 165Hz of refresh rate. Gaming on this was truly a very enjoyable experience. Now for me personally, I was using a gaming laptop with this because I don't have a PC at home, but I was able to output at 165 Hz onto this. Playing a game like Call of Duty Warzone, I was getting up to 100 FPS on there, and playing that on this with the ability to get to 165, really smooth. It was overall just a really pleasant experience. You also have different AMA modes provided with this. One is the default value, and I think that works the best, but it can go all the way up to 3. Now, even though it goes all the way up to 3, I would recommend using it at 1. That has the least amount of overshooting. So for most competitive players who play games like CSGO, Valorant, that can push the higher FPS, 165 Hz of refresh rate, I feel like you guys will make the most value out of this, even for the given price point. Apart from that, you also have the ability for FreeSync Premium for smooth gameplay, so no ghosting or any of that Halo stuff, or at least it's reduced to the max possible ability. And this monitor really does that well. We've seen that with previous BenQ monitors as well. And the upgrade that the S version has over the previous one is obviously when it comes to the power consumption, as well as that goes only up to 144 Hz of refresh rate, while this goes up to 165 Hz. As mentioned earlier, one of the main highlight features on here was the sound, the audio quality, which is tuned by treVolo. As someone who plays games consistently and competitive gaming with high refresh rate and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure for the most part you'll be having headphones on. So this feature, I feel like it's great to have, but it's not something that makes or breaks this monitor. The sound quality on this is pretty good. It's better than most other monitors I've tried out, but it's not something that's like mind-blowing. You know, it's really good, but for the most part, as a gamer and someone who's going to be gaming a lot competitively, I feel like you're going to have headphones on anyway. The OS it's running is actually quite nice too. It's very clean and easy to go around and navigate through, especially using the little knob button at the back for toggling and navigation. BenQ's made it really easy to get through here and give you a customizable quick settings menu as well. However, most of the features are geared towards colors and visuals, not so much like crosshairs or stuff like that that you see on other gaming monitors. Now again, these are just my first impressions. If your budget is under 1,500 ringgit, then this is a really great monitor to consider. The 25-inch variant that I have right now costs just about 1,350, and the 27-inch is 1,499. So it's basically less than 1,500 ringgit. It really delivers a superior experience for those looking for 1080p gaming with a high refresh rate of 165 Hz, IPS panel, great viewing angles, pretty decent sound as well, and just overall HDR and the AMA 1 millisecond, all that stuff together just make it a really great monitor given the price point. So with that out of the way, I do think this is a monitor you guys should definitely check out. Be sure to check the links in the description for more information. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like the video if you liked it, and consider subscribing for more content just like this, and we'll be seeing you again in the next video. Until then,